Welcome back to the Pesky Report, episode 535, presented by Beyond the Monster. I'm Jordan, joined by Jason and Doink, and we got some baseball news to talk about. No, I said baseball news, not Red Sox news. Unless we really want to talk about the Rule 5 draft, which I think we'll just save for the minor league guys for the most part. But yeah, winter meetings comes to a close. Well, it's already been concluded by the time you guys are listening to this. But yeah, how are you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing great.
We're chilling. How are you?
Doink's been freed from the shackles of having to watch Pete Alonso play because he's not a Red Sox and he's not a Met anymore.
Me and Jordan are two of the however dozens of people out there that are happy about this news.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm relieved that they didn't give him that contract. I'm not. Which is a different thing than saying that I did not want him on the Red Sox under any circumstances. But 5 years, 150 million was a bad scenario for me. I would have been very upset if Craig had done that.
Yeah, I mean, so go ahead.
I don't know if I'd been upset. I'll give my thought later, but I think the main thing here for me is you lost him to a division rival. Come on, man. That sucks. But at the same time, it's he's not built for Baltimore, is he? Swing does not.
He's lucky they moved the fence back in a little bit, and they also still have. They did that in a very funny way, and I think I've definitely ranted on this program before about how they just how there should be regulations for how often you can change your park dynamics, because it's if you're gonna sign Pete Alonso to this 5-year deal and then try to move the fences in again, that's not that is disgracing our beautiful game. That is so gross. You shouldn't be able to zig and zag it should have to stay there for 10 years. I think if you change your park dimensions, 10 years and you can't change it again. But anyways, it's not a great swing for him, but it's also, the Orioles clearly really needed to get something done. They've been publicly whiffing on everything for the last 2 off seasons straight, pretty much. And I don't know. I just the 5 years is tricky for a player that has as many big flashing red warning signs as Pete Alonso does in his as he ages.
Well, I think it's kind of weird to not necessarily that the Orioles are the team that gave him the contract. Well, I guess to a degree that the Orioles are the team that gave him the contract. I'm looking at that 40-man roster. You know how the Red Sox have a log jam in the outfield? The Orioles have 15 first basemen.
Yep.
They have
log
so
jam
many
at
first
one
basemen.
at first base and DH. That's a really interesting, because Basayo's not going to catch every day. You are putting yourself you're putting yourself in a crazy. Godspeed Orioles. Thank you for doing exactly what I wanted.
And then
getting a little silly with this.
And if you add the DH element to it, because Doink and I have been talking ad nauseum, mostly in group chats, but also on the timeline about Pete Alonso not grading out as a very good first baseman. So he is not very long for the position. But if you include DH, you've also got to include Tyler O'Neill in the in the mix as well. So you've got 7 dudes for 2 spots. And Tyler O'Neill.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say you got to pencil in 40 games of Tyler O'Neill at least rehabbing from an injury at DH.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm looking at the roster, and obviously the offseason's so far from being over, and the Orioles have work to do. They still don't have, I mean, they have Trevor Rogers, but they still really have like a very competent rotation. So as people are pointing to like, I've seen a lot of the overreactions being like the Red Sox are now worse than the Orioles. The Orioles still have to prevent the other team from scoring runs. And when Trevor Rogers isn't pitching, who the fuck's going to keep the other team from scoring? I mean, I like Bradish a bit, but like that's, after him, it's like Dean Kramer.
Dean Kramer. Yeah.
Like it's not a very
LeBron gif.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the offseason's still not over. And the Orioles clearly felt some type of way about missing out on Kyle Schwarber, who I would have loved for that ballpark.
Yeah.
Like that was a much better fit. And I obviously seemed like Alonso was more of a pivot than the initial target. But they have so many first basemen. Pete,
yeah,
Mountcastle. They've still got Kobe Mayo. They've got Basayo.
So
I figure Adley will play a little bit of first base as he's, they're trying to preserve his body a bit. I feel like I'm missing somebody as well.
Mountcastle.
They're out. I know I mentioned Mountcastle.
Yeah,
Taylor Ward factors into first base a little bit, but he'll be playing left field primarily.
That roster, man.
And like their outfield, I mean, Dylan Beavers, I think is going to be really good, but like Colton Cowser regressed big time in 2025, and then obviously Tyler O'Neill is, the people listening, I shrugged. It's just like who knows? And I love Tyler O'Neill. Dude homered every game I went to in 2024, but he's a wild card, and that's when you have a bad rotation to this point. It's still like, I shouldn't say bad, but like very pedestrian rotation. I'm not super scared of a lineup that just adds Pete Alonso to it, even if Taylor Ward's like pretty good as well. I'm not super scared of the Orioles yet. The offseason's still very far from over.
This has the potential to be like very annoying. I think I said this to you privately, but it's like very annoying for like 1 to 3 years, I think. Like, and the Orioles are still going to be in a total dogfight to like, they're looking up at the division still. Like, I agree. It's crazy to be saying that the Orioles are better than the Red Sox just because they added this specific bat. Which I really disagree that he was a perfect fit for the Red Sox. Like, I don't, because the argument, right, when people say that he was a perfect fit is like, oh, he plays first base. And as we've briefly discussed, like, I disagree. I disagree that he plays first
He stands
base.
there.
He can pick it very well. But that is like a flexibility that, like, yes, he's very flexible and he can pick it, but like absolutely dreadful. Like having to like dive for balls down the line and like think about Fenway right field. We would all be losing our mind watching those balls go past him and into the right field corner. Horrifying. I don't know. It's annoying, but 5 years. Oof.
Baltimore's problem now.
I think they're good for like, they'll get some fun homers. I mean, if he can go oppo in that park at all, like that'll be sick.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think my take out of all this is like, look, am I mad that they didn't get Alonso? I'm not thrilled, but like you go out and say, oh, we're going to be so aggressive again, after the 3 years of saying the same crap. And then, oh, we're going to do the work. We're going to talk with all these multiple, like high-end free agents. And then you just get outspent by the Orioles. Like, you can say whatever you want. Just prove it to me. Prove it to me that you can go and you can get the big guy that you want.
Yeah.
And I saw all these reports that are like the Sox lowballed years and they lowballed the money. But at the same time, if you talk about all these high-end free agents the way that they've been talking about, then it's like, why? Why are you getting outbid by the Orioles out of all teams? Am I saying I would have done the same? No. But at least support your point. That makes sense.
Yeah.
At least show that you're able to do all these things. At least show you're willing to spend the extra dollars. And now with this, you lose all your leverage with Bregman for the whatever market he has, because Boris is laughing like, now the Red Sox are kind of desperate for Bregman to come back, because if he doesn't come back, what on earth do they do? Like, what on earth do they do?
Frankly, I think they were always desperate to bring Bregman back. Like, my calculation of like how desperate they are hasn't changed, because they were always desperate. Like, he has been a non-starter, like must re-sign him in every calculation of how I've built this team out for 2026 in my head. So I'm like, you're still desperate, and like, thank God that you still have time to prove that you can spend this money that you want to spend and you want to be aggressive. Because like you said, you have to. And if they do that on Bregman, I'll be very happy, because it'll show that they were, measured in their willingness to extend for the player that they want in like the window that makes sense. Because like we saw, like the Mets, it like leaked that they didn't want to even give Pete more than 3 years. And then we find out today they didn't even offer him a contract. It's like, why is that?
Yeah.
Like that
makes the Brian Windhorst meme.
Things that make you go, like, so I'm just, there's clearly calculated risk there amongst teams that are known for being pretty smart, because allegedly David Stearns is getting a real he's getting a real tough beat, because it is a pretty tough look having all of this happen. But I don't think I think him being hesitant to give Pete long-term deals with, having watched seasons of I watched probably 110 Mets games last year. He's a tough watch when he's going through it. Like, it's as bad as any like Sedan style slump where you're just like, damn, dude, like another grounded into a double play. So I'm glad, but you're right. Just spend your money, be aggressive now, because like everyone knows that you need to be. Bring me Bregman, bring me.
And at what point? And I worry too about the Mets, because they suddenly need a third baseman now with Vientos probably.
They love Brett Beatty.
You're not gonna let Brett Beatty block.
They just let Mark Vientos.
They absolutely
kick Pete Alonso out the door. I don't want to like. That thought occurred to me for a split second when Pete signed with the Orioles. I'm like, ooh, wonder if the Mets would be in on Bregman. And then I'm like, well, the Mets haven't been in on Bregman at all. And I feel like they would have been linked to him at some point this offseason, regardless of if, like, even as a leverage play. I haven't seen the Mets linked to Bregman in any capacity.
I see Kyle Tucker as like their more likely pivot.
Yeah.
Brendan Nimmo
or Bellinger.
Or Bellinger.
Or Bellinger.
You can have Durant.
Very funny. That's what Jordan knows. I've been banging that drum for. I actually, wait, did I text you about that last night or this morning?
Texted me about that this afternoon. You're like, by the way, if we're recording tonight, I will be restarting my propaganda of Durant to the Mets.
Yeah, I mean, they're not gonna give you. Obviously, they're not gonna give you Nolan McLean, but I would take Brandon Sprout. Jonathan maybe can't get big league hitters out, but I would love to try.
I just don't love anybody on the Mets.
I don't think the other thing. It's like not that much of a partner to me.
Yeah, I mean, their young pitching is fun, but like it's Nolan McLean who is fun, and they're not going to give you Nolan McLean. So
yeah, it's like the exact players you'd want. The
He's
Mets
their ace right now.
Up. Yeah, exactly. Like I saw
that's
Durant
their opening day starter.
Yeah, I saw some Duran for like Senga dialogue. Nope. That's a non-starter for me.
That's a dead. That's a dead money. Like unless you're also moving Yoshida.
Yeah, you can have Yoshida.
If Masa's going in that move, then I'm willing to do it because you're already nerfing the return.
That would be funny.
What if?
But Senga, that would be like a really interesting trade. Just like if that worked out money wise, or like whatever you have to do to make it work money wise, like. Straight up Senga for Duran and Masa. That would be a wild trade.
It'd be interesting for sure. I do want to quickly agree with Jason's point though about like if the Red Sox are being super aggressive and they're like really big fish hunting here, if the
Mhm.
report comes out that they're not in on Bichette and they were seemingly very far off on Pete, like who is the free agent that they're being super aggressive on, or is
Mm.
it just the trade market? Because again, if it is the trade market, you have to prove it to me by going and getting somebody. But you know, that's
Yeah.
fine. I think this isn't the free like the reason why the luxury tax, like being reluctant to go over that second threshold thing didn't phase me at all was because I was always operating under the assumption that this wasn't the offseason to be doing that anyway. Like unless
Yeah.
you needed an outfielder, which you don't, they actually have too many. Like Kyle Tucker's the only one I'm breaking the bank for, really. Like Bichette, I like Doink and I've argued about him a lot, but like Bichette, I'd be willing to get uncomfortable for because I think he can play third and I think he can play second base. But it's again, I think he can. Like I don't know. We saw 7 games of him or 5 games of it do it in the World Series, and he seemed okay, but he also was on one leg, so who fucking knows? Um, this isn't the offseason to do that. Now, if Scooble was like a realistic trade target, yes, you are going to break into the $300 million payroll range to trade for and extend him. And then next winter, obviously, that contract kicks in. You'll be going into the 300s to make sure that Scooble's locked down long term. I've always operated under the assumption that one of these bats is coming from the trade market. And that's why, for me, and I, like not to, you know, stray away from the free agents that have signed dialogue, but that's why Ketel Marte's always been at the top of my list since it was like, oh, he's getting moved. Like that's going to happen. He's been one of one for me, like even superseding Bregman because I just think he's a better player. So like in a vacuum, get the best player available first and then get the guy that like you killed your relationship with Devers for this dude. You cannot let him go. Like you have to keep Alex Bregman around.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ketel's always been at the top of my list.
And if you trade for him first too, you can kind of get some of your Bregman leverage back.
Yep. It's like, oh, we don't need you. Especially if you can trade for Ketel without trading Marcelo Meyer.
I think
You cannot trade Meyer if you don't have third base.
I really think you can do it. I think you can just Tolly or early. It's gonna suck. It's gonna hurt. Plus, and then like I think that's even. I ran that by a couple people who were smarter than me, and they agreed.
Well, if you're gonna trade Meyer, he's your third baseman right now, and if you trade him for Marte, then you're. Did you see that John Heyman tweet? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Who did
Joey Gallo, the pitcher, is drawing interest from several teams.
Good God. And the big 2-5 is insane.
Could not contain.
Anyways, but like if you trade Meyer for Marte, you lose leverage again because
well, no, that's what I'm saying.
You don't have a third baseman. And if you do trade Meyer right now and it's not for someone at third, like even with a Suarez, you lose leverage too. Because right now your third baseman is Meyer, and then it's Eaton, and then you have to go in the minors, Mikey Romero or Romy Gonzalez. Depends on what happens with Casas, but like you still need a lot of pieces, and there are not that many of them in the Red Sox. But the Red Sox position players, especially infielders, are very thin. It's Mikey Romero, and that's really it.
Sogard, David Hamilton.
No.
Well, he wouldn't play third, but like he's another guy that.
Who are you going to put at third? That's the question.
Yeah, it's certainly in Connor Wong.
Oh God, no.
No, it's it'll be interesting to see. I mean, like it seems like there's no way that Meyer would get moved in a deal for Ketel because the Diamondbacks seem hell bent on acquiring starting pitching. Which, fair enough, that rotation is yikes. It's Brandon Pfaadt and Erod in the big 2-5. So,
oh yeah,
and Mike Soroka. So
that was a big splash.
Huge splash. I mean, that's the kind of splash that you can formulate in Arizona where there is fucking zero water. It's a very interesting predicament that the Red Sox find themselves in, but I think I'd be way more concerned if Bregman was the dude who signed first.
Yeah.
Like, obviously,
then
him being my plan A, but like now you don't have a third. Now you don't have a third baseman, and you still kind of need to figure out first base because, as much as I believe in Casas, it sounds like he's definitely not going to be ready for opening day. So, you still have to figure it out for at least a month. And I'm totally cool with, like, if I know Tristan's going to be healthy in May, like Romy hit 300 this year. Like, Romy was a good player against both righties and lefties. I am okay with letting him suck in April. Like, if he's bad in April and I know Tristan's going to be there in May, I can live with it. Like, not everyone's going to go buck wild in April. Hell, Tristan doesn't go buck wild in April.
Some guys have insane starts to the season. Some guys have dreadful ones, and it all, it's just like can be total luck for some guys, or it's like habitual. Like Francisco Lindor has historically, well, actually he beat that this year, which was funny. But he's just dreadful at the start of every year. You can pencil guys in for that.
Yeah, it's like it's weird because these guys also will talk about, spring training is different than playing in the New York weather in April. Like, you get used to playing in the warmth, and then it's like, oh, here's 31 degrees and raining. That's disgusting. Good luck trying to hit that because you're still facing 98. But yeah, no, it's like April's April. We're still in December. There's still guys out there, and there's still the trade market. Like, there's always dudes that come out of nowhere and end up on the trade market. Like, Grayson Rodriguez got traded. I didn't think he was going to get traded by the Orioles. He got traded for Taylor Ward.
Yeah, that was crazy.
It seems like ages ago. My God.
Yeah.
Was it not?
It was what, like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago?
Was it really?
Oh my God. Yeah, it was like second week of November. So actually about a month ago now at this point. But I'm not heartbroken over Pete Alonso signing with the Orioles. I think on the flip side, awesome signing for the O's. Like, in the sense that, like, that's a legitimate big fish. And like, you've been getting
got your win. You got your win.
You've been getting mocked for 2 years for not, like, Pete Alonso doesn't throw 95 with sink and, like, isn't going to give you 6 shutout innings in a playoff start, but like, he will contribute to hopefully getting you there. And like, for all the talk about the Orioles being cheap, that's not something cheap teams do, is give out $31 million a year to a 31-year-old first baseman.
And they're linked to Framber.
And Freddie Peralta. He's not a big free agent,
vibe.
but he's a
Red Sox linked in the same thing just now today, right?
Yeah. Yep. And the Yankees and the Giants, and there's one other team. I can't remember who.
Talk about being linked to almost nobody. # Yankees.
Yeah, they're just like, it's funny because, like, I've seen so many Yankees fans like dunking on the Mets for the last 3 days, and I'm like, your owner like cried poor and said like maybe we'll re-sign Cody Bellinger, and then like there's going to be a platoon at every position. I was like, I feel like maybe you shouldn't be making fun of the Mets right now.
Yeah, so far the Yankees offseason has been dreadful. They've done literally nothing.
They have it doesn't seem like they have an intention to do anything.
Yeah, and like,
which is just like weird.
Yeah,
it kind of scares me.
The only thing they did, they gave Grisham the QO and he took it,
which is just a horrible piece of business.
Yeah,
if you hit almost 40 home runs, I see why you do it, but like, haha.
I saw reports that they were surprised he took it, though. So almost like they thought they were going to play the market, which is like, you give a dude who's like an 80 WRC plus 22 million guaranteed after his first good year. Like, he's going to take it.
He's going to ball out again and then get another good contract.
Yeah. It's
in a position player market that for a month, that's going to be headlined by Jazz Chisholm. I don't know if you've seen that free agent class. That's awful.
Can we talk about how Jazz is going to be some franchise's like richest contract ever next winter? Like, he is 100%. And like, all the power to him. Like, go get the bag. He's gonna become like the highest paid athletic of all time.
Pirates.
Oh, that's a good landing spot for him.
I'm like, I can totally see biggest contract in Pirates history, Jazz Chisholm.
Especially after they've been missing on, they missed on Schwarber. They weren't even in on Alonso at all, but they've been kind of on that second tier a lot. Like, I've seen them linked to Ryan O'Hearn, to Jorge Polanco, guys like that, but they're going to end up getting nobody. And then next winter, when they really feel the pressure of building a winner around Paul Skeens, it's like 7 for $250 for Jazz Chisholm. Come on down. And
man, him and Ono
Jolly
Cruz on
Roger.
the same team would actually be kind of cool, like just like aesthetically.
Yeah.
And that's it. And that's about it.
Yeah, baseball wise, I mean, Jazz is a good player.
Aesthetically off the field.
Yeah. Good. I mean, Jazz is a good baseball player. I don't want to poo-poo his skill set at all just because he's a Yankee, but he's 100% gonna get the bag next winter. And like, it's so fascinating because I feel like the Yankees got to be feeling way more heat than they let on. Like, Giancarlo Stanton is 90 going on 1,000 years old. Garrett Cole's coming back. He's going to have to deal with the year of rust post TJ, and he's already 35, I think.
And he's not even starting the year.
Yeah.
Right. He's not even
he had the full procedure, right?
He had the full procedure, and he said it's him and Rodon who are not going to be on the opening day roster.
And then Max Fried had neuritis his last year with the fucking Braves. So, like, who knows how long his elbow's intact. They're in some trouble. And like, we're a hop, skip, and a jump away from Will Warren being the ace of the New York Yankees. And yeah, like, the only thing that's happened for them this offseason is Trent Grisham is back, creating a logjam of mid in the outfield, and they lost Devin Williams. Can we talk about how big of losers the Yankees fan base has been about Devin Williams' departure as well?
Well, because it was coupled with the Devin Williams departure was like 48 hours after the Sonny Gray, like, I fucking hate the Yankees tour, which I think really sent everyone into psychosis, because every year, like, Yankees fans find new evidence that the sheen of the team is gone. And like, I think it's just like they're in deep denial about it, and it's produces some very funny reactions. Like, people just being like, Devin Williams cost us the playoffs and da da da. And it's like, he actually was incredible in the playoffs. Like, was insane.
Oh man. Can we also talk about how Brian Cashman did not have to divulge like that Sonny Gray actually hated being a Yankee and didn't ever want to play for them?
Yeah.
Like, he didn't have to do that.
By the way, that was totally true.
Yankees fans are like, but look at this quote he said when he got traded there. And Brian Cashman's like, yeah, no, he told me point blank to the face. My agent told me to say that.
What a real one.
If I was the GM of the Yankees, you couldn't waterboard that out of me. Like,
you can't. Yeah, you just can't say that.
How on earth do you give credence to that statement? You're like, yeah, no, he really didn't ever want to be a Yankee. So you guys have nothing. You don't have Devin Williams. You won't have Cody Bellinger, but you got Trent Grisham, and the honesty is the best policy. So that's what we got in the Bronx.
Wasn't there also a quote from him being like, yeah, we've been talking in the trade market. People have been getting, what was it? The other teams don't want our prospects, which is like boo-hoo, like Spencer Jones. Oh, we don't want to touch him. And they're like, oh, Freddie Peralta for Spencer Jones. No. How about that? Because they think he'll get Paul Skeens or something. I think that's hilarious. Them actually realizing, oh, our farm system isn't as deep as it actually is. And, them. I really do think the Red Sox right now, they have a better system than the Yankees.
Oh, by far.
And it's hilarious how much they overvalue all their guys. Like, I think their best guy is Lombard. I think he's a stud.
Yeah.
I think he's good.
That's good though. Like, Spencer Jones, overrated. That wonky, unorthodox swing won't get him
So
anywhere.
funny.
But like, I mean, you can shit on it all he wants. It's like, well, Christian Campbell's kind of the same, but it's not as bad as that at the same time. But
no, because Christian's at least got like
He
Christian
has
when
the
he
raw
slumps.
skills.
Yeah, Christian slumps are like a lot of weak contact, and it's like they're. I'm not like a big like I don't really care if guys strike out. But when they're slumping, I would much rather watch a guy slump by making bad contact and be like, well, he's at least seeing the ball. Like Spencer Jones, when he slumps, it's like we're talking like 55% K rate. I got the pleasure of watching Connolly early bully the shit out of him in AAA like 3 times. And I think that was Connolly's last start before getting called up. But it's a mess. Like there's a reason like Murakami's market's quiet. Like people don't value for like a brief period the game lost its way and they were like, we really don't give a shit about strikeouts. Like hit home runs, thumbs up. Like that's great. And then I think we saw kind of in October, maybe there's a little bit of an overcorrection happening, but like in October, the teams that put the ball in play a little bit more, at least situationally, tend to have more success, at least in October. And like you see teams kind of having some like Murakami, if he entered the majors 4 years ago, he'd probably already be a Dodger. And 2, he'd be making like 30 mil a year, 25 mil a year. Now it's like we're talking second tier of teams maybe snagging him. Like I was talking to good old friend Sadon Rafaela Enjoyer, and I was like, the teams that make sense for him are like the Giants and the A's and the Pirates, like teams that can be patient with him. Like, because the teams that are really going for it, they're not going to be prioritizing a Joey Gallo archetype.
well, where's he going to play?
Sounds like first base.
He hasn't played first base since 2020.
Yeah, I mean, he really hasn't played third base ever because he's really bad over there. So it's like
exactly, and that's a huge turnoff. Like, why am I going to pay tens of millions of dollars, or God forbid, $9? I don't know. It sounds like the market's stale. So like, why am I paying $70 million for a DH when I can just get somebody who can play a position and be somewhat good at like right now? Would you want Eugenio Suarez or would you want Murakami to play first base? Interesting, like actual question.
Well,
I feel like Jonah Hill and Moneyball. I'm like, are those my only 2 options?
Yeah.
Definitely. It's like
Gino.
Probably
Gino.
Right. Because like I don't want like we know what Gino can do. And it's not like, okay, Murakami. We don't know what Murakami's gonna do. And other teams, like you said, Jordan, like the Pirates can experiment with that, even though there's some urgency there to win. The Giants, like they can experiment a little bit. Maybe even Reds don't make any sense.
Well, the Reds do make sense, but they've already said they're not spending on any. It was Kyle Schwarber or nobody
because they get ticket prices up.
And they're like, all right, we're done.
Like we didn't get the 33-year-old DH, so we're just gonna throw our hands up and say we tried.
Yeah, but like my point is, other teams who are not rebuilding, but like teams who can afford to experiment for the next year or 2 can take a chance on a guy like Murakami. And if he fans out, great. If he doesn't, oh well, at least you tried. The Red Sox are not even with Okamoto too. Even there's some red flags there. The Red Sox are not in the position to do that again. They're not in a position to sign a Yoshida, like S guy, a guy from another country. Their window is right now with like their young core and their young pitching. It's go time now.
Yeah.
Sure, these guys can be good, but you need to pay for more certainty. And there are guys out there who do have more certainty than they do. Not to say the Japanese guys are bad players. You just cannot take a chance like that. Like I just think
Murakami is a special case where it's like you're Joey Gallo in Japan.
Yeah.
Like that's nuts. Like that's not that's not the kind of like pitching environment that's conducive to that kind of profile. Like he's striking out like 25% of the time, 28% of the time in Japan. Like that's going to go up in the States. It's just going to. And like maybe the power sustains itself, but we're talking like what, like $20+ million probably a year in that ballpark, plus the posting fee, obviously, as well. For a guy that is going to have like a 115 WRC plus and be a butcher at a corner infield spot. Like I'm good. Like if I'm going to get a 115 WRC plus and a butcher at a corner infield spot, I'm going to get the more sure thing. And that is Gino.
Yeah.
On a much shorter term contract. Cause I know, I mean, especially from the Red Sox point of view, like the whole like righty power thing, like it's, but it's,
oh, what the hell? Seiya Suzuki had 32 homers this year. I'm sorry. What?
Yeah, he was a silent beast this year. It was crazy.
He really benefited from Kyle Tucker being there in the sense that nobody knew anything that Seiya was doing over there because everyone was so focused on Kyle.
Which was going to lead me to my next point is like, how much do you see all these Japanese guys, Yoshida included? The power is usually the thing that doesn't translate into Major League Baseball. It's usually the hit, like the contact tool usually stays the same, except obviously it's more elite pitching and the level of competitiveness is the best out there. So if Murakami's claim to fame is that he's got power, I'm very that's going to scare a lot of teams. And I think that's what's going on now. And his defensive home too. It's like, well, if the power is the biggest question, like how much is that going to translate? That's your biggest tool in Japan. You're going to strike out a lot. You have no defensive home. Like what's going to motivate me to the upside of homers? We don't know that. Like that's the biggest part. And that's such a risk.
Yeah. And I feel a little bit, it feels a little weird to like kind of pigeonhole these guys against each other, but like a lot of what I see in Murakami in like, because not every single elite Japanese player comes over to the States and plays, so we only have a select group of individuals to compare guys to. But like Yoshi Tsutsugo was very much a similar profile, walked a lot, homered a lot, struck out a lot in Japan, came over here, was okay his first year with the Rays, and then fucking awful. Like he was so bad, and he was a little older than Murakami was. I think he came over at 20. He came over at 28. Murakami's 26, so a little bit older, a little bit less of a window for progression as a big leaguer, but a similar profile. And he was a mess when he came over here. Not to say that Murakami would fall into the same trap of being just a bad player in the States, but it's just a bad. There's not enough. There's too much space between ceiling and floor for me to think that is a worthwhile risk at this point in the Red Sox contention window. If this was like 2023 or like after the 2022 season, I'd 100% be on board with dealing with the growing pains, but you just made the playoffs and your strikeouts in October were kind of a huge reason you didn't advance. You can't add that much swing and miss to the lineup, which is another reason why Gino, even though for a brief moment I was like, I'd be okay with it, I have also retracted that in the last, few weeks. I'm good there as well, but I'd prefer him to Murakami. I just want Ketel, man. Like,
yeah, I've been convinced. You really just gotta hope. Oh, sorry. You just really gotta hope the makeup stuff is a lie. Like you just really gotta fucking pray.
If your infield consists of Bregman, Story, Marte, and Casas/Romy, and then figure it out. And then your outfield is, I want Campbell in there somehow. So it's like, what is it? Campbell.
So you're moving two outfielders then.
I'm fine with that. Is there a way to move an outfielder in like a 3-team trade? with Marte. There has to be.
I'm sure there is, but like how, like I feel like 3-team trades really never happen for as much as we talk about them being a possibility.
Yeah. which sucks because like what
they happen all the time in the NBA. Like you get like 1 or 2 a year.
You get 9-team trades in the NBA now.
Well, because salary. Like if the MLB had as many salary restrictions as NBA does, then there would probably have to because you have to just like match money. It's the main reason why I like don't even bother thinking about basketball trades most of the time is because I hate considering salary matching. So it's like it would be cool to see more 3-team trades in baseball, but you just like don't need to.
Which sucks because you look at all these teams who want an outfielder. The Royals want an outfielder. There's nobody, maybe Reagan's, but like you're going to have to include so much more for that. And even he kind of has some things going on. And you would probably, you're running out of space in the rotation. You're running out of space on your pitching staff for another top end guy.
They have so many starters on the roster,
which is not a bad thing.
No.
But then you look at the depth chart, it's like, oh, we have obviously Crochet, Sonny Gray, Oviedo, Bayo, Early, Tolley, Cutter Crawford, Patrick Sandoval. Ugh, I totally forgot about him.
Yeah, allegedly.
If he's still alive. Dobbins.
Patrick Adalberto Mondesi Sandoval.
And then you have like your Johans, your Ubersteins, who they put on the 40-man.
Their entire AAA rotation's on the 40-man roster.
Stanlin's going to probably start too. It's like, oh my God. It's a great thing to have, but at the same time, what worries me too is coming into the offseason, you have $25 million tied to Patrick Sandoval and Jordan Hicks. Isn't that insane?
Not great.
That's my big point of contention. Like now that it's like I've moved on from the anger of the fact that Devers was traded, and I've repositioned my anger to you absorbed the Jordan Hicks contract. So you didn't even like maximize and I'm sure that part of it was like you absorb the shitty contract the Giants have, and in exchange the Giants absorb all of Devers' contract. But like if you're going to put these tight budget restrictions on yourself, like Jordan Hicks making $10.2 million is not an insignificant amount of money.
No.
He's getting paid starter money / elite, like high leverage reliever money. And he is the worst pitcher on the 40-man roster, probably, or at least close.
Deal, man. What a sick deal.
Yeah. But hey, you also got Dustin
paid the most. Yeah. Hey. Can't complain.
I can.
No. Yeah, you could definitely complain.
I will complain about it.
But yeah, I mean, the best thing about having pitching depth that is like scary deep is when you're trying to maybe get something you need from all of these teams that like have their glaring spots of need. It's just like, just start shopping every single young starter profile-y arm you have, and like you got to get someone to bite because you just like need to consolidate. They've been needing to do consolidation trades for 2 years.
Yep. And they don't do it. They won't.
And they don't do it. They're hard. I mean, they're hard. Yeah, they're tough.
Let me ask you this, and I hate that I'm floating this out as a possibility, but what about? I really think there is a non-zero chance. I don't think it's that far-fetched that the Red Sox entertain a trade on Bayo. Is it crazy to think that?
No, I don't think it's crazy.
I see people like begging for it, and I'm like, what's going on?
Weird behavior. But I think they could.
I mean, you can justify it. Like he put up
it's a good
really good numbers this year, and it's like he's been in the league for the past 2022, 3, 4, 5, 6 years almost, which is insane to think about.
And he's a baby still. He's only 26.
Right.
That's why I don't want to trade him.
And are the Red Sox confident enough that he can sustain this? And if they're not confident that he can sustain this, and this one year's a kind of a fluke, and there's a team calling, and it's like, I don't know, I don't like Freddie Peralta. Like
that's what I was gonna say.
I don't think so. Like,
I mean, a lot of people.
How much of an upgrade is Freddie Peralta? Or like okay, well, I will say it's stupid. People are like, oh, let's trade Bayo for Mackenzie Gore. I'm like, I'd rather just have Bayo.
I'd rather just have Bayo.
I'd rather just have Bayo. It's the Freddie Peralta one is interesting because I feel like that's the most common proposal that you just like see floated around, and I'm like, the type of people that I see saying that you should trade Bayo like straight up or whatever, or like attach more for Freddie Peralta, and then like those same people would undoubtedly be losing their minds when the Brewers like actually turn him into a demon.
They're the same people doing it about Quinn Priester.
Like they're going to do the exact same thing. Like they will be able to maximize
That's what
like
they do.
the nasty stuff we all know he has. And that is horrifying to me. Just like try to figure it out on your own.
Not to mention Kyle Harrison, by the way.
Yeah. Good point. Kyle Harrison. The Brewers are sitting there waiting. They're not even going to mention Bayo's name. They are waiting. The second his name escapes Breslow's mouth, Freddie Peralta's a Red Sox. That's why it almost worries me that they're in on him. Also, why have the Brewers been trying to trade him for like 4 years?
Yeah.
People ask this question about Ketel Marte, which is a very valid question. Like he's the best second baseman in baseball, making nothing. Like he's on the best contract in the sport for somebody of his skill set. Like it's not the best, but up there.
Like this confuses me too because like Peralta's on a team friendly deal.
$8
million,
and Bayo's on a great deal. It's like Bayo's all of these guys. It's like,
but the big difference is like, oh, they traded Corbin Burns. Well, they're going to take Corbin Burns to arbitration because they're a loser franchise, and
they blamed him for missing the playoffs. His
so insane.
Right. It's so dumb, right?
So crazy.
So they trade him to Baltimore, but then I understand because Milwaukee's a small market team. But then you look at like. Brandon Woodruff just took, I don't know. There's that report where like Milwaukee's like another instance of like how we didn't think he'd take the qualifying offer. I bet all the teams or all the people who took the qualifying offer the teams were surprised because like Imanaga took it and the Cubs were like, what? Like that altered our offseason plans. I think that's the same thing happened to the Brewers because like they're dumb. But the biggest difference is like Peralta's making $8 million. Can he fetch more than Burns? Probably.
Horrible.
He's younger too.
Yeah, and the biggest difference. I mean, I saw something somewhere that Freddie Peralta has only put up more than 2 F4 twice in his career. I think this season and then a season before. And just saying. For the right guy, I would do it. But like, am I trading a Connolly early for a Freddie Peralta for a year? I don't know. I think they're pretty reluctant. But at what point? Because you see this float, and I'll segment this to my next thing. Like you see everywhere. Oh, the Red Sox have to choose between Tolle and Early. Like, yeah, I don't believe that. But like at the same time, you're like, every team is calling for the same thing. Like if you have a bunch of diamonds in front of you and people are, oh, can I have that? It's like, oh no, I actually want this. You can have the stupid silver in the back. Like,
and that's
course,
like you're showcasing top 100 prospect, by the way.
Right. And it's like
throws 100.
And at what point do you have to be like, okay, this guy, like, he has a bright future, but we need to be aggressive here with a guy like Marte. Because I feel like the Diamondbacks don't need to trade Marte. The Red Sox also don't necessarily need to trade for him either.
Yeah. This is like Breslow's specialty because this is a baseball trade. Like this is one of those deals where it's like, it doesn't have to happen. It's like, we need a middle of the order bat. You have one that you're not opposed to moving. You need young starting pitching. We have 1,000 of those guys. Let's talk shop, and if we don't come to a consensus on what a deal should look like, we'll part and just hope you don't trade him to the Blue Jays. Like, it's pretty much kind of where we're at. And like, to answer your question about Bayo specifically, I'm of the mindset where, like, it kind of depends on what they're getting in return, but like what the rest of the package looks like. But I've pretty much settled on no rentals, and you're using Bayo to improve his rotation spot. Like, if you're trading him, like, the only rental I'm making an exception for is Scooble. Like, that's the only rental where if Bayo has to be in the deal, like, love you, Brian, but that's the best pitcher in the sport. But I'm not moving him for Freddie Peralta. I think Freddie's great. I think he's a considerably better pitcher than Bayo is. But, like, again, Bayo's 26 years old. Why are we already deciding that he can't get any better than he currently is? He just took a huge step in 2025. He can't do that again. Like, guys are allowed to get better. Like, Crochet could get better. Not that matters, because he's the ace of the staff and he only pitches one every 5 days. But like Bayo can still get better. Like, and regardless of who you acquire, Tolley is going to be needed. Early's going to be needed. Carter Crawford's going to be needed. Like, you need the guys that are already here to be significant contributors, in addition to obviously the guys you bring in.
I don't disagree. The big thing, though, is like a lot of the under the hood metrics hate him. Not as much as Giolito, but there are a lot of start. Like, I went to the start against the Braves, the one right after the Raffy trade. Like, he looked very rough, but I don't think he gave up that, like, maybe a run or two. Oh, was that the Sean Newcomb game? Maybe it was. Yeah, it was. So, I don't survive these rabbit holes like Jordan does.
Yeah.
But,
you don't want me to go down rabbit hole.
Yeah. There were some starts, though, where I'm just like, dang, he's getting lucky as heck. Like, just the eye test sometimes telling me, okay, he's getting hit hard. The metrics don't like him. But then he still put up a really good ERA. I don't have his numbers in front of me, but at what point? And there's a point where this past year Cora came out and was like, yeah, Bayo is who he is. There's not much more to develop. He kind of has a point there. Like, but at the same time, 26 pitchers sometimes are fine wine. They only get better with age. So that's where I do kind of hold out hope for. But, you know, you're a ground ball pitcher, especially a Bayo. Bayo's a ground ball pitcher. He's not this massive strikeout pitcher. If all three of his pitches are working, then yes, he can rack up those strikeouts. But I don't know. I don't know how much more developing there is for Bayo. And I could, like, 3 years from now, he could be like a stud co-ace. But I think the Red Sox still value him pretty highly. They did give him the extension for a reason, but how much of it was just extending, like, I don't know. But I'm excited. But I think the Sox, unless, call me crazy, unless they cannot add another number 2 without trading either like Tolley early slot, like with Duran or somebody. Cause like,
yeah,
but I'm fine with the Red Sox having like 3 number 3s behind Crochet. Cause it's like, someone's got to step up.
Yeah.
But like, what is a number 2 starter?
That's,
like,
I was literally going to say, Jordan and I have had this conversation. It's like a number 2 starter doesn't
exist.
Like, there isn't like there's not because it's a different tier. It's just like you're either an ace, you're a top of the rotation starter, or you're a back end of the rotation starter. And it's like a 2 and a 3 are the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, well, it's because it's going to change just based on who is on the rest of the staff. There is no like universal, because it's, you know, it's the Red Sox number 2 right now is Sonny Gray, and the Mets, or not the Mets, that's not a good example, but, you know, pick any other team and it's like their number 2 is not going to be the same quality, much like, you know, if you don't really have an ace, you're not going to be like our number 1 starter.
Well, the Red Sox did have a number 2 target, and his name was Joe Ryan. But
yeah. But like I'm of the mindset like am very similarly thinking to the report that came out that there are people in the Sox front office that don't view Sonny Gray and Joe Ryan all that differently. I'm in that exact boat.
You're like
Which
so out on Joe Ryan. You like
I've been
don't
out
think
on it. I don't want him at all.
Yeah.
Like and
the
maybe some of
the
it,
second half numbers are scary.
but I think part of it too is like because I was all the way in on Joe Ryan in June.
Whoa.
In June. But like now that it's been 6 months of talking about Joe Ryan becoming a Red Sox that like maybe a little bit of his fatigue. And I'm just so tired of talking about it. And like there's obviously red flags. And I've spent 6 months looking at the red flags of why they shouldn't trade for him. And like now that's all I can think about. But I don't know. I just think at the end of the day, Gray gets chase and whiff. Ryan does not. And that's kind of really the main difference between the two. So for 2026, like I'm not trying to argue that in 2028 that Joe Ryan won't be a better pitcher than 39-year-old Sonny Gray. Because if he's not, then Jesus fuck the Twins. That's some Rockies level shit. I mean, they're already on their way. But
they just don't know what they want to do.
No.
It's like they can never be like that's like true indecisive ownership is just like just constantly shopping everybody and never hitting send on any of the trades. Like any of the trades.
Bob Nightingale. Holy fuck, that scared the shit out of me.
What did he say?
Oh my god, he's just
Jesus Christ, Bob.
What did he say?
He said he just reported on the Ryan Watson trade. God, my heart just dropped.
Boston Red Sox acquire RHP Ryan.
Jesus Christ.
You'd have seen the quickest 180 of all time.
And we'd be like, yeah.
But like,
the duality
the Red Sox
of
just got a
man
second
woman.
ace. Just suddenly.
We got our guy.
But like,
God.
I don't know.
Ultimately, to me, I think a number 2 starter, like you said, Doink, there's like three or four buckets of pitchers. If we're differentiating between ones and aces, like a 1 is the ideal number 2. Like we're conflating a number 2 starter with just a second borderline top 10 pitcher in the sport. And like Sonny Gray wasn't that far off in 2024 or 2025 from being a top 10 pitcher in the game. I know his ERA was high, and like, over the course of a full season, you can't just discredit the ERA aspect of it. But your number 2 starter is going to be 2, 3, 4 different guys for various 6-week stretches. There's going to be stretches in 2026 where your number 2 starter is Garrett Crochet, probably, because that's just baseball. And hopefully that's indicative of somebody else going nuclear and not him not being good. But that's beside the point. And I don't know. Once they traded for Sonny Gray, I was like, this is great because it's a high-end starter. They can go and address the rest of their needs. And then if Hunter Green becomes available in January, or Tarek Skubal fully becomes available in January or February, there's your high-end starter that you really wanted to acquire all along. I'm not pushing all my chips in December to land Cole Reagans and find out in February that Tarek Skubal could be had, and suddenly he's a Baltimore Oriole. And then they're better than the Red Sox.
Yeah.
That scared the shit out of me.
That was crazy. Yeah,
God.
I feel like in my head, the 2 moves have always been like, if you're gonna do one of these big trades, you obviously need to do another one to balance out just the roster imbalance. So it's always been in my head like Jarren Duran for a pitcher, and then like young pitching for a bat. That's just where like the lizard brain, like just boil it down as simple as you can, and that's what I feel like you need to do. Seems pretty simple.
conceptually, I agree 100%. And then like there's like the third kind of like if the Marlins wanted to completely offload Sandy, I'd entertain. Ironically, I mean it kind of renders itself useless now because Pete's not an option. But like the idea of trading Tristan for Sandy Alcantara, was an
Jaron
idea
Duran
that
would love Miami.
he would.
He would.
He also loves San Diego, but there's nobody there. Like we're gonna trade him for Nick Pivetta.
There is someone there. His name is Fernando
Mason
Tatis.
Miller. Oh, yeah, that too.
Bring in Nando, yeah. I would trade all the outfielders but Roman Anthony for Fernando. But yeah,
but even if you trade Duran for him, like you still have a logjam.
Yeah.
Or fucking put him at short and then you put Story at third.
He put Nando back on the infield after.
No. The Gold Glove outfielder. He was
Platinum Glove outfielder, wasn't he? Didn't he win a platinum a couple years ago? I could be wrong. I know he was in the conversation though. He had a couple really.
Wasn't there that report too? Like the Padres are brewing something. Biggest smoke screen of all time.
The Padres are always brewing something.
Right.
A lot of the times it's a steaming pile of shit.
What's happening?
Like when
here?
they brewed the Xander
nothing.
Bogaerts contract. Like that was a.
They want to get off of that so fucking bad.
Yeah, they want to attach Nando to it. I'll take him back.
Good God. Try to convince that to FSG.
I'll stick Xander at first base. Although Xander's actually become like a decent shortstop magically after a decade of being a bad one. He's like good.
Well, did he finally get surgery?
On his wrist, yeah, I think. But like his range was a huge issue too.
Look at that.
But like, but he can range now. Like,
imagine they get Bogarts back and they're like, "Oh, hey, Trevor Story, you want to play second again?"
The Devil Magic trade. That's like, I feel like a lot of people would be pissed, and myself included, for like a split second until I realized that it's a baseball team and you need to have some good players on it to be good. Manny Machado makes a lot of sense too. He does. Like, hate the guy. I hate the guy all you want. He's a third baseman. The Red Sox need a third baseman right now, and he is a righty that hits for power, and that's what the Red Sox need pretty desperately. Although, is Manny still like a good third baseman? I remember for like a split second he had looked like he was dog shit over there, and Padres fans were freaking out. How do you do defensively? 3 defensive runs saved, -6 on average. I would be too if they are always loaded with all that talent and do nothing with it. But I don't know. It's an interesting time we're in, and there's still so much off season left. We haven't even talked about Kyle Schwarber going back to the Phillies. Yeah, which I felt like was going to happen.
Foregone conclusion.
The entire time.
Everything else was just it was just like dreams. And then it happened and everyone was like, oh yeah, of course. Money totally checks out for Dave. That is like such a Dombo, this shit better work contract. And it better. Yeah, good luck.
I don't think Dave lasts that whole contract. I don't know.
Oh no way. He's like his seat is on fire now. Like that team is old and they're like kind of cornered into running most of it back. They have to like try to get something of value for Alec Boehm.
I think he's got
Castellanos.
Yeah, and Castellanos.
Yeah. Ugh.
I think Wheeler even got a pitch in 2026. Like, do we know what his health situation looks like? Like, Aaron Nola also missed like all of 2025. They will have to replace Ranger Suarez. I know they have Andrew Painter, but there's no guarantee that he's going to succeed at a major level.
Luzardo had a roller coaster of a year.
Yeah.
He was so good, and then he was so bad, and then he was so good, and then he was bad again.
Yeah.
And Christopher Sanchez is good again.
Christopher Sanchez is nasty. That dude's a freak.
How the hell they found
But their bullpen was bad last year. They weren't in on
even with Duran. They were bad.
Yeah, Durant, like he's filthy, but the rest of that bullpen's still kind of dicey. They weren't in on Devin Williams. They weren't in on Ryan Helsley from what I read. I don't know if I missed something, but they weren't in on Edwin Diaz. Like, I mean, I get that Johan Durant's their closer, but you kind of need guys to get him the baseball with a lead. And like Orion Kerkering's like the only dude in that pen that I kind of like. And even then, like he's etched in Phillies history forever for throwing a ball to Saturn instead of home plate in the playoffs and ending their season.
Instead of first base, yeah.
Yeah, instead of first base. But I don't know, like the Phillies, that's a very peculiar situation that they like if not for the Mets just siphoning all of their talent to other teams right now, other than Dev, they the Phillies would be probably in the biggest like no man's land position in the National League East. For me at least, because I think the Marlins are closer than a lot of people think. Like they're like a couple moves away from like really making some noise, especially if they don't offload any of their pitching, because they don't have to. They need a first baseman. Ryan O'Hearn's out there. They can go get a first baseman. The Braves just kind of have to not all die in 2026, and they should be fine. Big if, but new blood, I shouldn't say new blood. It's another geezer, but a new manager in the dugout. So maybe some new vibes in the dugout, and then, who the hell am I thinking of now? I just completely missed the team. Oh, the Nationals are the Nationals. They're terrible. They're the biggest no man's land team in the NL East because they
can have talent and they can't put anything together. Like shit.
Can we talk about has anybody seen what people are saying to Will Fleming that's now causing him to go off of Twitter?
People are like really mad at him. Because they think that post that he made about like 72 hours being exciting for Red Sox fans when like the Marte trade was very clearly heating up last night, and that was very obviously what that was talking about. Like as soon as Pete Alonso signed, everyone started freaking out at him. Like it's his fault.
Like it also hasn't been 72 hours yet.
It hasn't.
If they trade for Marte,
does like no one know how long 72 hours is?
This is America.
It's been like 18.
It's How long has it been exactly?
You can literally go see him.
It was 27 hours ago.
Okay, we
are a third of the way there. A little bit more than a third of the way there. And in case anybody forgot, the opening day's in 3 months, so there's still time. And they signed Alex Bregman in February last year. Until Bregman isn't a Red Sox, I'm chilling.
Yeah.
Unless Ketel gets traded in the Blue Jays, then I might freak out a little bit. But that's just because I really want Ketel. It's just we can relax a little bit. It's not over until it's over. There's also always the trade market.
Yeah. They also have to trade an outfielder. There's no way they can go into this year with they have 5 outfielders.
Yeah, and they still have to bring back Rob.
That's That's before Rob, and that's before Yoshida. That's before Nate Eaton.
Yeah, and it's just it's I get it. Like I understand people's frustration to a degree because so many people wanted Pete Alonso. Like he was their one of one choice of any possible offseason target entering the offseason. So like I understand why people are like super upset. I can be empathetic. Like if Ketel gets traded to a different team than the Red Sox, I will probably react the same way people. I mean, maybe mostly if it's Toronto, but I'll be reacting the same way that people are about Pete.
Yeah,
I don't want to be a hypocrite, but
no, same.
But there are
well,
still
maybe not
many.
Quite same, but
no, because I had to talk you into Ketel.
But that's how I'll be about. I mean, everyone will probably be like that about Bregman. I'll be like confused depending on like where he would go and what it would be for, because it's like the trade pairing just seems way too obvious.
Yeah.
Way too obvious.
I don't really know what other team has the like the Rays. I know they were floated into the mix for Cattell. Like they always have an abundance of young pitching, and they have like the Rays tax where it's like if their position is pitcher and they're in the Rays organization, they are automatically assumed to be way better than they are. It's just like that's why the Rays were able to get Griffin Jacks for Taj Bradley. Although I was willing to trade Jaron for Taj Bradley, so I don't want to mock that trade too much. But
yeah,
but it's yeah, it just I don't see it like I don't see another realistic trade partner, and maybe part of it's bias for Cattell. Just like I don't really see a realistic signing, like another team signing Bregman. I just don't see a fit literally anywhere else in baseball. Unless Bregman's like the biggest poser of all time and is just going to bag chase and go to a shit team, which I just seems so out of character of him. Like if
exactly.
It just like if he were to sign with the White Sox, like tip the cap, like you got the bag, but like he's not going to do that. What good team needs a third base? I mean, the Phillies, but they just gave literally every dollar they had to Kyle Schwarber.
No, Boris knows the Red Sox are desperate.
Oh, they are.
Play out the market.
They are, but I don't see
the
a
Cubs
fit.
Make no sense.
The Cubs have Matt Shaw. They have the Yankees didn't even want Bregman last offseason.
They have McMahon.
They have McMahon, so they have to commit to him, even though Bregman would be a significant upgrade there.
The Tigers don't want him.
The Tigers are lukewarm on him, which is crazy. Like there's no fit.
And if he wanted to go there too, he would have gone last year.
Exactly, because they offered him. I think they offered him the longest term contract. They gave him a 5-year deal,
5 or 6 years.
Yeah, so like there's just I don't see another team.
Oh my God, you're gonna hate me for this.
Oh no,
they're gonna trade Paredes, and he's gonna go back to Houston and play second base.
I would only hate that if he were to play second base. Because if they nuked the relationship with Devers for a guy that actually was going to play second base all along, my head might fall off. I would be back to being angry about the act of trading Devers. I'd be repositioning my anger from Jordan Hicks again.
Yeah, that would be tough.
They'd also just 100% put Altuve back at second base full time. Remember him in left field? Remember the fun days of Jose Altuve in left field?
So funny.
The Astros are in a weird position too. Like they kind of stink. And they're like just gonna let Fromber leave and let their number 2 starters freaking Christian Javier.
Good God.
I want to talk about a team that needs a number 2 starter.
Yeah, they're also saying like they aren't gonna have enough at bats for like Paredes and Christian Walker, so like one of them is getting traded.
Yeah, Christian Walker would be a solid. Like if the Astros have to pay him down pretty significantly, but if Christian Walker's available, that's another dude I'd be at least interested in. That's another first baseman. My lack of desire for Pete Alonso really boils down to I just don't value first base. Like I am the MLB equivalent of Joe Shane with running backs. Like just keep first basemen away from me. I don't like them. Get them away. Don't pay them. But I also love Tristan Casas, so it is kind of ironic. Although Joe Shane seems to really like Tyrone Tracy, so we all have our quirks. But
I just don't know who they can trade one of the outfielders for. That's my biggest thing. Like Brendan Donovan doesn't really make sense. He doesn't really profile what the Red Sox want.
No, because if they wanted a lefty slapdick to hit the top of the order, they would just bite the bullet and make Yoshida the leadoff man.
Exactly. Yeah, that too.
I
don't know what they do. And if they want to trade, if they want to trade 2 of them,
Well, if they want to trade 2 of them, you're getting your number 2 that you wanted all along, I think. Or
But then
for
again,
whatever
it goes
reason,
back to the
Fernando.
conversation we just had of like you have so many guys. Unless it's Scooble. Like, sure, have you can have Duran and Willier, and you can have Kyle Harrison.
We've talked about this on a couple of episodes now about like what you would put together for a Scooble trade package, because like this Bailey equating him to the Juan Soto of the pitching market is like so perfect, and like using that trade as the blueprint has had my brain spinning for like the last 3 weeks. Like I've been trying to pinpoint exactly who I'd give up for 1 year of Tarek Skubal, and like that's the dude Bayo's going in a trade for. Like he's the Michael King here.
Bayo's the Michael King. As much as I hate to say it, Toley's the Drew Thorpe.
Or Perales can be the Drew Thorpe if we want to get like super technical and like dude who's kind of like on the
That's another dude we haven't talked about, Perales.
Yeah. Like that's another dude on the precipice of, the big leagues. Is Tristan Casas your Kyle Higashioka?
Connor Wong can be your Higashioka.
Well, no, Higashioka is at least a good catcher. Connor Wong is not that. But like
Casas can't be Casas, he has no value.
I mean, Kyle Higashioka was kind of like a light hitting, pretty good framer. I mean, I don't know. I don't know who else would fit that mold. Is that Campbell? I wouldn't consider Campbell that. He's way too valuable to be Kyle Higashioka.
Higashioka, remember, he was a year out of free agency. Like he was a year away from free agency.
Right.
So and then the Red Sox don't really have that.
And then also remember that the Yankees got Trent Grisham as well in that trade. So it wasn't like the Yankees only got Soto. And Grisham outlasted Soto.
But at the same time, if the Red Sox do get Skubal, it's like cool. But
then we do the dialogue of extending him again.
Yeah. I don't know if you do that. But who knows? Who knows? Like that'd be insane. But then it's a lockout year.
Yeah.
I don't know if FSG would pay him. Because he is the best pitcher. It's like, okay, imagine you paid Crochet to be your ace, and then you're paying Skubal more than double that.
And he's older.
I don't see it. I truly don't see it.
But that 1 year you get of him, like you really could win the World Series.
Yeah,
I think the best pathway for the Red Sox to get Tarek Skubal is the Tigers don't trade him till July. Yes. Like because you'll get Nutty in July, and if he's available, like if the Tigers suck, oh my god.
Good.
Oh, God. that's gonna be a war. I'm not kidding when I say to hell with any half the Red Sox lineup could be dead. No, let's not put that into the universe. A lot of these guys could be injured. The entire right side of the field, everybody could be hitting like 160 with no home runs. And if Skubal's available, I'm like, all your eggs are in that basket. You are getting him. And we will just pretend like everything's all hunky-dory on the right side of the field. Because you get into a postseason series in a best of 7, 4 games are going to Skubal and Crochet. Good luck.
Yeah.
And by the grace of God, you end up losing one of those games. Like I feel pretty good about Sonny Gray in a game 3. Feel pretty damn good about it. Or Bayo, if he's still there.
Or if Toley's still there.
Yeah, or Toley. Or Connolly Early. Like, again, it could be anybody. The Red Sox have a lot of talent, and they aren't going to get where we all want them to go without that young talent actually turning into something.
I'm just waiting for the pass in all caps breaking. It's going to happen again.
And then it's
going to happen in the next hour.
And then it's a Rule 5 trade. It's going to happen the second we're done recording.
Because it always does.
Without question. Oh, here's one thing we haven't talked about, and we can wrap with this with a kind of a quick thought.
Sure.
Or maybe not a quick thought, but like a few minutes to talk about it. Red Sox did make a trade over the winter meetings, trading Vaughn Grissom to the Los Angeles Angels and officially closing the book on the Chris Sale trade, or I guess adding a new branch to it by getting Isaiah Jackson, who I love, by the way. A lot of bias involved. We're both Sun Devils. The ASU connection. We love it. But yeah, Vaughn Grissom is freed from the Red Sox organization, which is the best thing for him and for the Red Sox because he's not clogging up a 40-man spot anymore, which is fantastic. What was your favorite Vaughn Grissom moment?
Ooh, bunch to choose from. My favorite Vaughn Grissom moment. The one that I don't remember a lot, but like I remember two. It was like the bases clearing double in Minnesota, and him straining his hamstring against the Tigers. I won't say it's a favorite moment, but those are two moments. Because I was at that game and I saw him limping, and then he immediately got replaced. I'm like, yeah, crap. And he fell off.
My favorite Vaughn Grissom moment was when I was in Worcester this past season, in the dugout, and he walked past me, and I, just trying to make conversation with some of these guys, try and build a rapport because I don't go to Worcester very often. I'm like, oh, hey, Vaughn, how's it going? My name's Jordan. What's up? Like, how's your day going? And he walked past me, like completely brushed me off, then stopped like on a dime, like is almost to be like, that was pretty rude of me. Turns, looks me dead in the face, shrugs and goes, who knows, man? And then walked away. Like, damn, this man's hurting down here in Worcester. Like he is entrapped, and I'm happy for him that he's going to get an opportunity somewhere else. Because it just wasn't going to happen here. Once they gave him like 12 games at first base and then decided that they'd rather have Abraham Toro play, it was over for him. And I feel for the guy because so much of it was out of his control. But damn, that sucks.
But I mean, kudos to the Red Sox for keeping on to him and not just DFAing him and seeing if they could get some value when they got depth outfielder. Like a minor league depth outfielder, which is cool. Maybe he'll become a high minors piece.
Yeah, he'll probably start. If I had to guess, he'll probably start the year in Greenville. But if I had to guess, like he played high A for the Angels. Now that doesn't necessarily mean they won't start him in Salem, but I don't know. I like Isaiah Jackson. Again, a lot of it's bias. We both went to ASU, but good pop. He's a very athletic dude. He can play center field, and he's a plus defender out there. To steal a line from our friend Derek, defense makes me horny. I love a good center field highlight, and Isaiah Jackson is full of them. I tweeted one of a home run robbery of his when the Red Sox traded for him. I went nuts at work when I saw that it was Isaiah Jackson coming to Boston. I'm super stoked about it. And he may never be a big leaguer. Like, this is legitimately just my ASU supremacy coming out. It was a bad year for the football team, so I got to take my wins when I can. Especially trickling into the NFL with what happened to Cam Scottaboo.
Listen to this. Hold on, real quick. We haven't mentioned this. Andrew Parker said 30 minutes ago, as of right now, Boston will be looking at Kyle Harrison as a left-handed bullpen option, given the lefty reliever shortage in the organization.
Huh. I don't hate it.
I don't love
I
it.
thought that'd be Patrick Sandoval's theme music, to be honest, but I don't hate it.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the best way to maximize his strikeout stuff, which is really the only thing that's kind of making him a big leaguer right now, at least. I don't see much of a pathway for him to be a big contributor for the team. Unless it's in the bullpen. Although I felt the same thing about Oviedo, and they love him, so we'll see. Not to go all wait and see on it, but we'll wait and see. We'll see.
There's still a lot of moves to be made, and there's still a lot of free agents to be signed. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, just out of genuine curiosity, where you stand right now on the team, who's the biggest player that they add by the end of the offseason? Just kind of taking the temperature on your optimism. Do you think Sonny Gray is going to be the best player they add this winter? We're not going to base it off WAR, just how you feel about the player individually.
That's tough. Considering they really do need to trade an outfielder. And I don't think they're going to be trading an outfielder for a better name. Like, I don't think they're going to package a Duran and a hypothetical Arias for a hypothetical Joe Ryan. Like, I don't think that's going to happen. Like, hypothetically, that's not happening. But they're not going to do that. Do they add Marte? My gut says no. And I hate that it does because I love Marte, but there's just something in me that says the Reds they want what the Red Sox like absolutely doesn't want to give up. And that's pitching. Like they're too totally / early. So where does that bring us? I still think there's a significant move to be made. Is it Sonny Gray? I think it'll be about the same level as Sonny Gray, whether it be, I don't know what player, but I still think there's a solid move out there still to be made. And if it's Sonny Gray, that's your biggest offseason acquisition, that does not, that I do not like that. That does not, you have to show me as a fan, and you have to convince me that you would be a better team without Rafael Devers, because this team is a Rafael Devers away from. This team has Rafael Devers. Holy wow!
Yeah, that's kind of the elephant in the room. Like, where would you be if you just if you didn't have Kyle Harrison or Jordan Hicks and you just had Devers instead?
You would be in such a better position.
You'd be Ketel Marte away from having the best lineup in the American League.
You add Ketel Marte to Devers, to Roman, to all these guys. Oh my God, you're set.
You'd be stacked.
You would be, yeah. But on paper, you go back to June 15th, the day he was traded, and you fast forward to spring training, and it's like, or you're in a coma right after Devers got traded, and you wake up spring training 2026, and you're like, okay, Breslow said all these things like, oh, we're going to reallocate the money. You know, what was our biggest offseason acquisition? And you told me it was Sonny Gray. I would say, put me back into the coma and wait again another year.
I'd be pretty underwhelmed as well. And I really like Sonny Gray.
Oh, there's nothing. Yeah, exactly. There's nothing wrong to the player Sonny Gray. It's just the fact that you need to do more, that it doesn't stop there. You need to add another all-star capable player.
Yeah, I think they're going to trade for Ketel. I really do think that's going to happen. And maybe some of it's wishful thinking, manifesting, whatever you want to call it. It's just, again, in the same breath as signing Bregman, I just don't see another team putting together a trade package for Ketel Marte that can hold up to even a Tolley or early list package that the Red Sox can offer. Like, again, you take those two, you pretend those two are completely off limits, which, by the way, if they traded Connolly early and like the package, again, it all depends on the whole sum of the package. But if they traded Connolly early, like, it would hurt. It would sting for like an hour maybe. And then I'd be like, oh shit, we got Ketel Marte. Like, I'm not over it because I love Connolly early. And I'm also, you know, not to, again, share some biases here, but like big UVA fan as well. So, you know, it hurt me for a bit when they traded Kyle Teal for the same reason, but I'd be fine. But I think you can package together a Luis Perales, David Sandlin, Hunter Dobbins, like scrape together like more of a quantity over quality trade. Not to poo the guys that they would be giving up. Like Perales, Sandlin, and Dobbins are all good pitchers as well. Very talented arms. But they're not in the same tier. And they'd probably, I mean, maybe not Perales, but they'd probably admit as well that they're not in the Tolley class of pitcher. But I just think it makes too much sense to not happen. And like I still think Bregman coming back is like an almost a certainty. And like so I'm still optimistic. I mean, it's easy to be optimistic when the guys you wanted aren't gone yet. Like I didn't want Pete. Doink didn't want Pete. Like I have no problem speaking for her. We've talked about this a lot. Doink didn't want Pete. So it's easy for us to look at the rest of the offseason and be like, just be patient. Because the guys we wanted are still there. I'm still optimistic. I think Ketel's the best player they get. And I'm like, again, I'm still confident enough to the point where if number 4 wasn't retired by the Red Sox, I would have already bought a Ketel jersey.
Oh, man. What? Number 5's open.
Number 5 is open, but I'm not confident enough in Ketel taking number 5.
So let me ask you this. What would you trade for Ketel Marte?
It's tough. Like, I mean, I know the Diamondbacks want starting pitching, but they really need outfield help too. Like, to me, I see a pathway where Duran can headline that. I really do. My ideal trade package would literally just be Duran and Connolly early, and that's it.
Mike Yastrzemski and the Braves.
That's fun.
Closing in on a deal. Cool.
That's fun. I thought he was going to go to Cleveland or back to Kansas City, but that's an option off the table now for the Royals, who had Mike Yastrzemski, and he was awesome for them in the second half. So just reinforces the idea that they need an outfielder. But for me, the ideal trade package is either you go quantity over quality and you trade like a bunch of those guys like Perales, Sandlin, Dobbins, Harrison, you could throw into the mix. Not all of them, but a contingent of them plus like Mikey, Miguel Blaze, like someone in that tier as well. But I think they'll covet quality. And if you package together Connolly early and Jarren Duran, I don't think a team comes close to that. And you get Ketel, and maybe you can pawn off or like snag a reliever as well from them just for your troubles. And I don't know what reliever I would like. I'm going to look at the roster real quick. Maybe, I don't know. Andrew Saalfrank right now is projected to be their closer. He had a 1.24 ERA for them this year, so he's probably not going to get moved. Would they be willing to trade Justin Martinez, who's out all of this season? AJ Puck is 31. He had the brace procedure in June. Like, again, I'm just looking at their bullpen. Their only other lefty on the major league roster is Brandon Garcia. I don't know anything about him, but like I'm thinking you trade Duran and Connolly early, you get Ketel and a reliever, even if it's a jabron that's like kind of toolsy. I'm all for that.
I don't know, man.
It'd sting, but I'd do it.
That's what you got to do. I mean, for an MVP caliber guy.
Yeah, he's so good, and people really underestimate how good he is.
And that dude,
yeah, he's 32. Like 32 he's not 50. Like he's not an old man. Like he conceivably could play at a high level. He won't be, MVP level Ketel Marte for much longer. But like natural regression, he's going to be a very good player until he's in his mid-30s. And this dude had a 145 WRC plus and 4.6 F4 in 126 games this past season. He hit 28 home runs, drove in 72 runs. He hit 28 doubles. He had 56 extra base hits in 126 games. That's the dude who transforms your lineup. Oh, and to make things even better, 14.9% K rate. That dude doesn't strike out. Oh, and he walks 11.5% of the time. It's so obvious. Like I hate using that phrase for moves because obviously it's more nuanced than just go get the guy. But if there's a player that fits everything the Red Sox need from a power standpoint, a postseason success standpoint, from a doesn't make a shit ton of money on a very good contract standpoint, switch hitter, so platooning isn't an issue with him. Ketel Marte checks every single box except for maybe some of his clubhouse stuff, but like that's not really fully corroborated. Geraldo Perdomo went to bat for him big time at the end of the season and was like, this dude is like a brother to me. And like, to the same degree that Devers became a malcontent in Boston, like Ketel's played how many postseason games for the Diamondbacks? 21. 17 of them were 2023. So he's really only been a great player on a good team for 1 year. Because he fully broke out in 2018 when he had a 3-WAR season and then was an MVP candidate in 19. They've made the playoffs once since then. I'm sorry, but you're going to get frustrated. Losing isn't fun. And not every time the guy that becomes disgruntled is the problem. In the NBA, Jimmy Butler was always right. Is he an asshole? Kinda. But he was always right everywhere he went. He was right in Chicago. He was certainly right in Minnesota. They chose Ben Simmons over him in Philly. The disgruntled star is not always the problem child. And I think unless there's some shit going on like off the field, like really with Ketel that we're not privy to, I'm just not buying that he's enough of a malcontent where it should dissuade you from bringing in a guy that good. Sorry for my rant. I needed to rattle that off at some point. Need to get that off my chest. I'm fucking been ready to scream it from the rafters about Ketel. And by the way, the second I find out what number that man's going to wear, you bet your ass a jersey is in my cart. Because the way they're trading him right away. The last jersey I bought was Raffy. So now it's a Kyle Harrison jersey. Trade Kyle Harrison and give Ketel number 11 so I don't have to buy another jersey. Although that shit's a 2X, I am a large now, so that's probably not. Probably still gonna have to buy a new one. But anyway.
We need more news. Red Sox.
We do.
Feed it to me. Have the Red Sox made an MLB free agent signing?
No.
Right?
They haven't. Yeah, they have
an MLB one.
Not an MLB one. They signed Alec Gamboa to a minor league deal yesterday. I think that's it. Yeah, because they haven't re-signed anybody. I don't think they have. Their only moves have been trades for Oviedo and Sonny Gray.
Yeah, and Ryan Watson.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
And that's it. I mean, they're gonna. It's tough too because now they don't have a 40-man spot, so it's like the trade. The trade's gonna happen first. I honestly, to a degree, think that if Pete did wait until like mid-January to sign, there's a much higher probability that the Red Sox would have played ball with his market a little bit more. There's just so much uncertainty with not even like we know that one of the outfielders is going to get moved at some point, but who are they traded for assets plural or are they traded with assets? So are you subtracting 3 guys from the 40-man to go and get one dude? Or are you potentially needing 40-man spots available because Duran's bringing you in multiple pieces? I don't know. But if Pete was available mid-January and Duran's gone and they have 38 guys on the 40-man roster, I think there's a much higher chance that Pete would have been here. But oh well. Also, Mike Yastrzemski is officially signing with the Braves. 2 years, $23 million. Not a bad contract.
With 1% donated to the Atlanta Braves Foundation.
Yep, and a club option. I think it said for 2028. It just says 3rd-year option. Nope, it is a club option according to Passan. So good for Mikey Yaz. And that is technically Red Sox related.
Yeah, he went to my high school.
Oh, it's sick. Obviously no overlap because he's 33.
God, no. Not that old. But yeah.
Yeah, you're younger than me.
All right. An hour 40, man. That was awesome.
Yeah, crazy. And the Red Sox didn't even do anything.
No, they will once we're done.
Once we're done.
Every time we say it's already.
Yeah.
I have a 2-hour final tomorrow, so I think from 5:15 to 7:15. So I think congrats to whatever team gets Durant, I think.
I got to record the Celtics pod after this. So if they make a trade, the Celtics pod is going to end up being like 12 minutes, and we're just going to end up talking about whatever the Sox do. And I will attach it to the end of this episode. So we don't have to scrounge. Actually, you know what? No, if the Red Sox make some sort of significant move, we will scrounge up an emergency pod, and that'll be episode 536. So we'll have 2 episodes drop tomorrow, December 11th.
Boom.
Anyway, any final thoughts? I feel like we've been rattling off final thoughts for like 45 minutes.
With that said, go Sox.
Yes, sir. So I'll do it for this edition of the Pesky Report. Again, episode 535, presented by Beyond the Monster. If you haven't already, if you're still listening to us at this point in the show, you must like us, or you hate us so much that this is like an S tier hate watch / listen. Let us know. Review us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get podcasts. On YouTube, if you're watching, leave a comment, like, dislike. Can you still dislike on YouTube? I don't know.
You can, and this doesn't show.
You can? Well, dislike us, and we won't know you did it, but you'll know you did it, and that's really all that matters, right? So subscribe, help us defeat the YouTube algorithm. We're trying to build our community over there. But yeah, hopefully next time we do an episode, there is more Red Sox-centric stuff to talk about, and we're not just talking people off the ledge. But for Jason and Doink, I'm Jordan. Till next time, peace out and go Sox.